Alright, this is why I believe no other team besides the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to win the championship this year. The champion this year needs to have 4 very important qualities. They have to be good in transition. They have to have dynamic players, especially more than one helps the case more than anything. They have to have good overall team chemistry, and they have to have young core players. Now, I could go individually with these teams, but I'd rather just clump it all together. Each team in the Eastern Conference has at least one or more problems within that little definition I just gave you. The Spurs have one problem. Alright, now I'll expand out a little bit and go a little bit wider. The 76ers have problems in the young core players department and the dynamic playmakers department. Their only dynamic playmaker is Andre Iguodala, and while they do have a lot of young players, they don't have core players. I mean, let's face it, Spencer Hawes doesn't strike any fear into me. Elton Brand is old as hell now, and Lou Williams is a streaky scorer. While Evan Turner can get to the basket and is showing his prowess on the offensive end, he still has some work to do, and he's not exactly an all-star yet. So, the 76ers have another year's worth of work that they need to get done before they can even be considered going to conference finals. The Celtics are getting old. What they don't have is they're not good in transition without Rajon Rondo. They have great team chemistry, so I'm not going to even talk about that. They don't have young core players anymore. Their core players are between the ages of 34 and 36, with that being Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. They do have dynamic playmakers, however. They do have Paul Pierce, they do have Rajon Rondo, and Ray Allen is still the three-point king of the world. But, that being said, youth is not exactly on their side, and Rajon Rondo needs some company when he's running up and down the court, and everybody else is getting their walker trying to get back down to the basket. The Pacers are a little bit of an anomaly in this situation. They have a lot of... What they don't have is they don't have a dynamic playmaker. They have everything else besides that. They're good in transition, they have young core players, and they're good in team chemistry, in the team chemistry department. The only problem is, while they do have all-stars, and they do have tremendous scorers like Danny Granger, they don't exactly have a dynamic playmaker, a closer, somebody who's clutch in the offensive moment, in the last couple moments of the game when you truly need it. So, the Pacers are a little bit on the outside looking in this situation, but I still believe that they have a chance to make it to the conference finals, if not the finals. The Heat, they fell off. They had it all. Let's face it, a month ago, we picked this team to win the championship. Well, obviously not me, because I'm a Bulls fan, but nonetheless, they are good in transition. You could consider them to have young core players. I mean, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, they're kind of in their prime right now. Let's face it. So they could be considered young core players. They're good. They were good in the team chemistry department, but I'll get to that in a second. They obviously have dynamic playmakers. They have 3. The rest of the team's crap. I mean, come on. And if I need to justify that, without their 3 core players, they lost to teams like the Wizards. Twice. It's pathetic. Anyway, the team chemistry department, from what I've seen lately, I've seen Eric Spoelstra getting into arguments with Dwayne Wade. I've seen the rest of the team, besides Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, struggling to find shots from the perimeter and even cutting to the basket. From what I've seen a team without Chris Bosh struggling on the boards, trying to get rebounds to a man like Roy Hibbert. And I see them struggling to find other scoring options besides LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. And as you can see, by them combining to get almost 70 points in this game, and LeBron getting 18 rebounds and 9 assists, I forgot the rest of the stats for Dwayne Wade, but I mean, they basically do everything right now. They have to do everything, or else the Heat are pretty much out of the series. The Pacers could outclass them. Now, I'm not going to go over the Spurs. Not the Spurs. I'm not going to go over the Lakers and the Clippers, because the Lakers and the Clippers are about to respectively lose their series to the more superior teams in the Western Conference, and those are the Thunder and the Spurs. But the Spurs, while they are championship material, I believe they're going to lose to the Thunder in the conference finals for a couple of reasons. Besides the definitions, they are good in transition. They don't have young core players anymore. They have good team chemistry, and they have dynamic playmakers. Yeah, I know. They're screwed out of it just like the Heat and the Pacers were by one little detail. But let's face it, their core is not young anymore. I mean, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan don't exactly scream out youth. They scream out a Viagra commercial. They scream out black and white television. They scream out gray beards and 401k. Let's face it. A team like the Thunder, with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and all the other players on the team that are on the bench, are still somewhat young. Besides like Kendrick Perkins and I say Derek Fisher, because Derek Fisher's not young. He should be retiring pretty soon. But either way, the Spurs do have young players, but those young players aren't exactly core players. They're pieces to the puzzle. This championship puzzle needs another dynamic playmaker to it, and then the Spurs would automatically get my vote for winning the championship this year. But at this moment, they haven't exactly found it. Their young players work good with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, and that's how they need they need to ride that wave as long as they possibly can. Because when they have to face the Thunder in a 7-game series, the Thunder will prevail, and I do believe that series will be taken to 7 games. They will take 1 game from them at home. There's no two ways about it. But that is who I believe is not going to win the championship this year, and everybody needs to ride the thunderstorm. From this point on, I'm signing off. Good night.